All right, let's move on to the Monday nighter. Last game on your card, New Orleans Saints at Seattle Seahawks. And I did move on the Seahawks at 5. And the more time I spent on the game, Burgundy in San Francisco, the more, I guess, uncomfortable I got with the spot. But I'm very curious to what you think. We don't even know what the Saints lineup is going to look like here after their bye. They had so many injuries. We'll go over some of them. But this opened up at 5. It opened up at 3.5. Excuse me. I saw it at 5.5. Like, that was the first thing I saw. So this 5.5 move, it opened up at 3.5. And yesterday at noon, it jumped 2 points at Pinnacle. So a huge bet was made on the Saints. Pinnacle moving 2 points, that's not a player personnel related move, because I don't think it's a personnel related move myself. So it was a big move. So we're in Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington right now. We have just 2,597 tickets in. Game 6 days away. 51% of the tickets are on the Saints, 67% of cash on the Saints. 47% of tickets are on the over. 84% of cash is on the over. Chris Brady says, yeah, the Saints are mysterious. They come in off their bye week fresh. Last saw them in a 33-22 win at Washington. So let's talk about players that have missed time. So during the first 5 games, let's talk about the guys who've missed the entire 5 games. Michael Thomas, All-Pro, 2-time All-Pro. Ankle surgery. And we don't know if he's confirmed back. I'm going to get this up here so I can go over. I would like to go over my notes first and then go over Michael Thomas.
It feels like that guy hasn't played in 2 years.
Multiple weeks away. Okay, so multiple weeks away. Okay, so he's not coming back. Okay, that helps. That helps. And because I was saying it's not a player-related move, and if Michael Thomas was ready, it would have been. Traquan Smith, hamstring. Starting defensive tackle, David Onyemata, suspension. Tight end, Nick Vanette, and kicker, Will Lutz. Starting center, Eric McCoy, calf muscle, hasn't played since the first quarter of the regular season opener. Starting defensive end, Marcus Davenport, shoulder. Starting linebacker, Quan Alexander, elbow, haven't played since week 1. We're talking about a team that's 3-2 and in position to make a run here. Left tackle, Teron Armstead, has missed 2 games since his week 3 elbow injury. Running back, Tony Jones Jr., the backup of Alvin Kamara, was out with an ankle injury early in week 4. How many of these guys are coming back? And it's still not clear. I still couldn't get clarity the more I looked into it. Seahawks coming off a 23-20 overtime loss in Geno Smith's first start since 2017. I thought he played well. 23 of 32 for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. He didn't try to force things. When he did try to force things, he got strip sacked. But it was in overtime, and that's when you want your quarterback to probably force things. I thought he played well, in control. DK Metcalf caught 6 passes for 58 yards. Alex Collins had the first 100-yard rushing game by Seahawks since December 15th, 2018, 20 carries for 101 yards. So they played the final 3 minutes and 10 seconds of regulation without linebacker Darrell Taylor. He left on a stretcher. It was very scary for everyone watching. And after the game, Pete Carroll said the preliminary CT scans are clear, feeling all his extremities, and he's expected to fly home with the team. If you saw the looks on the other players' faces, you wouldn't have thought that was the case. And when that happened, I thought, man, it's time to live bet the Steelers. I hate taking advantage of those situations, but we're gamblers. Cornerback Sidney Jones left in the third quarter with a chest injury. Damian Lewis was carted to the locker room in the third quarter with a shoulder injury and did not return. The more I capped this game, the more confused I got with the Saints roster. And that made me a little nervous. But I like the 5 points at home with the Seahawks. And I thought Geno played okay. Take it away, Bebsie. Last game of the card, the Monday Nighter Saints Seahawks.
Well, first of all, I do think it's a lot of points to give the Seahawks at home. We all know how difficult it is playing in Seattle. The flip side of that is I love Sean Payton coming out of a bye week. Also, I think the unknown of who's playing and who's not plays heavily in their favor. Now, I don't know if I think Geno Smith played as well as you did. I think Geno Smith was protected in their strategy. He didn't have to do much. I also think they had no business being in overtime. The end of that game was complete and utter horseshit. The fact that a review from the booth came in and then they put enough time back on the clock for Seattle to spike the ball. What was the review? Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought anything beyond that was a catch. He took like 5 steps and fumbled. Also, DK Metcalf got destroyed by Shannon Sharp on Twitter. It was so funny. But they had no business being in overtime in that game. They clawed back. I really think this is a tough spot for them just because of Sean Payton coming out of the bye. They're going to get some of those players back. And with Geno Smith in there instead of Russell Wilson, this is going to be a really, really tough spot. Now, I would be doing Jose a disservice without mentioning the fact that Jameis Winston is a big part of what's going to happen here. Because, look, Big Ben didn't take advantage of this depleted Seattle Seahawks roster, but we all know Big Ben is washed up. Will Jameis Winston take advantage of them? I doubt it. I mean, he's going to make a couple of plays for sure. I think as long as he plays within a small structure that I'm sure Sean Payton is going to keep him on a short leash and just make sure he doesn't fuck up, which Jameis loves to do. I think that it's going to be extremely difficult for this Seahawks team to play a Saints team coming out of the bye, even though Jameis Winston is their quarterback.
Well, let's get a little clip of all Jameis Winston.
I believe that Jameis Winston will be fine.
I think that Jameis Winston should win Comeback Player of the Year, possibly lead the NFL in passing yards. Winston looked so in control, and he's just different.
This is a different Jameis. We talked about it last week. I have faith in Jameis, but is it as simple as laser eye surgery? Is it?
Jameis Winston looked lost, and he's incapable of communicating and making smart decisions. He's just incapable between the ears of playing elite football in the NFL.
I'm not going to sell on him yet, but he did look terrible.
Jameis Winston, 13 of 21, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and I was impressed. You know, he's not eating W's and throwing 2 fingers directly into his mouth anymore.
I bet Jameis Winston drives around with no seatbelt. I love this guy. He was in command of the offense. He didn't make mistakes, and he looked like good Jameis Winston. Will we see good Jameis Winston again this week? Maybe.
Jameis Winston. He is fine. It's the blame is not on Winston.
Jameis Winston, is he back? I don't know.
Okay, Bebsie, it's time to make decisions here. It's the Monday nighter. We don't know what this Saints roster is going to look like. We don't know what it's going to look like. Birdie says Seahawks will not be rushing for 100 yards versus the Saints. Geno will have to beat them with his arm.
I agree. I think that's a huge point. They're going to rely on Geno Smith they're going to have to rely on Geno Smith to beat them with his arm. And that's why I lean Saints.
Well, I already moved on the Seahawks plus 5. 5's a messed up number. It's not some number that I was like rushing to get to, but I moved on them. I just felt that on Monday night I wanted to have them, wanted to back them. And I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I don't know what Peyton has in store. And I don't know who's of all those guys we talked about that are hurt over the beginning of the year so far are going to be available. Is there a move that you have interest in this spot, or are you hesitant to pull the trigger?
Yeah, I think just the fact that we don't know who's going to be playing for them yet, but I do lean Saints. I'm going to be staring at this game as we get closer to game time and see if there's a play there for me. But listen, Jameis Winston might be my favorite player in the NFL right now that doesn't wear red and gold.
Oh man, yeah, he's a fortune cookie, man. Just don't know.
He's so much fun.
I don't know. But I'm betting against him. So I hope he lodges 2 fingers crossed into his mouth and tells everybody that he's going to be successful. That's what I hope. I'm on the Seahawks +5 right now. No move on this total. Bebsie, for this total, do you last look at all of this? Do you agree with this slight move to the under, opening up at 44, now 43.5 or 43?
If honestly free play, I would take the over in this again, especially with Sean Payton getting extra time to game plan for this. Jameis Winston's going to throw four touchdowns in this game. There, I said it.
Okay, well, we will see. We will see. 4 touchdowns. We shall see. There you have it. Say what?
You heard it here first.
Oh, yes, we certainly did. 4 touchdowns. So a player prop available for you. Touchdown passes over. There you have it.